But the pushback has been that the only ones who actually are going to pay or afford for data, because the model has been data is free, right? It's not. And
Yeah,
it's a
it's
total
not.
Silicon Valley thing, right? I mean, Eric Schmidt outlined it last August in
Yeah.
Stanford. Steal, bring in the lawyers. Are you making a way for, I won't say the open source smaller developers, but is there some way that this is going to have, like how they can afford to train their data? Certainly not like ChatGPT, but is there going to be access to be able to license it for startups and for, I mean, smaller companies?
That's exactly what our model is. For AI companies coming in to work with us, the smaller companies, we can set them up with a revenue share opportunity. They can license early, and they can get access to the corpus that we've been compiling. And we're a multimodal. You can register anything with us. You can register your books, your music, your films. You can register. I believe people that have registered their dance moves on the platform, because dance moves are a thing now. We built it so there's a tiered system like that. So that, again, startups can come in with a very easy way to do this. People that are in a vertical and they only want to license certain stuff because they're creating a single format solution, they have a pricing level. And then, of course, for enterprise folks, they pay significantly more. And those prices change over time as we get more and more people signing up for the platform and we expand what we can do. But we're also helping these AI companies by giving them compliance tools so that when they register, they can actually load all of their corpus of work, which they have to start disclosing. AB 2013 passed here in California, and January 1, 2026, they're going to be required. Of course, unless, of course, this crazy law passes, but they can't do anything new. Of course, we've already passed that law, so hopefully it'll get around that. But certainly in California and in the EU, you need to disclose that information. And some AI companies have said, hey, we can't disclose that information. That's a trade secret. Well, that's why Credtent is giving them the opportunity to load their work into it, all the corpus of work that they've trained on, and we can help them understand this is information, this is data that you've already trained on, which is licensable. This is stuff that is public domain, and this is stuff that is problematic because it's opt out. And what we want to encourage them to do is to create guardrails in their systems. We know this is possible. Some of the systems have it already. If you say, I want to create a story like Stephen King, they're afraid of Stephen King because he has the legal, he has the means of hiring lawyers to sue them. And so, although that's changed recently, I don't know, in ChatGPT's most recent one, it's getting a little free and easy now. But we know that guardrails are possible. And ultimately, down the line, I expect guardrails to be something that when we have a licensing model completely built out, if I'm referencing Stephen King in my prompt, and I would like to have his influence potentially in something, that he could choose. Would he like to allow that and be paid for that? Or would he prefer to say, I don't want you to ever create anything using my name? I think that's what creative people should have the option to do, because in the future, there's going to be people that are going to feel comfortable with this. I mean, look at what James Earl Jones did before he died. He signed off and said, yes, go ahead and use my voice for the reproduction of Darth Vader's voice, which is an iconic character. They could have done what they do Disney all the time. I mean, a friend of mine became the new voice of Piglet when the guy retired. Yes, they could do something like that. But James Earl Jones, that voice is such a core piece of this villain, who's so famous. And so his family is now getting paid for AI use of his voice to recreate the new voice for Darth Vader, new language for him speaking, so they can continue to have that character live. If he made that decision, creative people should have the option to make that decision. Okay, so there's a real reason why fair use is commercially useful, because it could send people back to go say, hey, I'm going to go buy the complete set of Friends, or I'm going to, you know what, I want to see that series again. I'm going to go sign up and get HBO Max because I want to go through the series again because it was so much fun. It's part of my childhood, whatever. AI's use of these tools is not advertising. It's not giving you anything useful, with the possible exception of something like Perplexity, which specifically references, all the things that went into its response. That organizes it in a reasonable way. And Perplexity to us is one of probably the most sensible solutions right now, the way they're using it to be able to immediately call attention to people and put the references right in there. But just for purposes of training, you're not giving any credit back to these people. And that's why the fair use defense has always been ridiculous. You're taking value and you're extracting the value of that work, and you're creating market replacements potentially. And the thing is, some people go, well, I'm not worried about the book, somebody writing a book, from my reference, because it's not going to be a very good book. Well, you know what? It doesn't have to be a very good book. All it has to do is be something that's similar, that they can pay a little bit of money to have it go higher up on the list of what's found on Amazon. And guess what? They just hurt your book. They just hurt your music. They just hurt your music. They just hurt your film. All they need to do is put a little bit of money into advertising, and they can put themselves in that position to replace your work. So the whole fair use thing is just outrageously silly. And any excuse that they had before saying it's going to be too hard to do that licensing, guess what, guys? Credtent already solved that problem for you. Just work with us.